Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCORE Fairfield County's live webinar on leveraging AI for targeted website messaging and SEO optimization. Our webinar today is sponsored by Webster Bank. I'm Bob Hogan, the webinar coordinator and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County, and I'll be your host today. Our presenter is Jennifer DeRosa. More on Jennifer in just a minute, but first some brief information on SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit national partner of the SBA with over 10,000 volunteers nationally. And locally here at SCORE Fairfield County, we have over 100 volunteers with a wide range of industry process and subject matter expertise. And we offer three primary value-added services to small business owners. First of all, we offer one-on-one business mentoring, and you can access that using the yellow bit.ly link that you see on the screen, or you can go to our website. Secondly, we offer a wide range of business education programs like the one today, both in-person workshops and online webinars. And lastly, we offer extensive resources on our website, including business tools and information. Our next live webinar is in 2 weeks on Wednesday, May the 22nd at noon, and the topic is preparing your website for takeoff with Jorge Pezo Candelario presenting. And again, you can find more specifics on our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org. If you're on our website, we also offer a large number of recorded webinars that you can access on demand. And I think you'll find those topics useful. Just some logistics about today's event. We have set aside time for Q&A at the end of the presentation. And if you have a question, you can use the Q&A button at any time during the presentation. It's generally located on the lower part of your screen. Our webinar will end sharply at 1 o'clock to respect your time. The session is being recorded, and a link to the recording will be available on our website within the next day or so. It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Jennifer DeRosa. Jennifer is the founder of Toto Coaching and an online website building course with weekly coaching to help small businesses and entrepreneurs build a solid, effective website. She is an MIT graduate in no-code AI and ML and author of Building DIY Websites for Dummies. Prior to forming Toto Coaching, Jennifer sold her successful website development agency, Tech Care, so she could focus on coaching others. Prior to forming Tech Care, Jennifer was a consultant for such major companies as MBCC, US Surgical, GTE, GE Capital, Unilever, and Calvin Klein. It's now my pleasure to turn it over to Jennifer. Jennifer, it's all yours.
Thank you, Bob. And thank you everyone for coming today. We are going to learn a lot of things. At least I hope you are. I'm excited to share some of my industry knowledge with you. I know a lot of you here are probably small businesses, maybe entrepreneurs, maybe you're just starting your company. Maybe you've had it going for a while. Maybe you work for a small company and you are concerned about getting traffic to your website. And SEO is this thing that seems like this magic that somebody does behind a curtain, right? And you have to hire someone to do it. Of course, there are experts that you can hire to do it, but you can also do some things on your own. And that's what I'm going to be showing you some of this today. I'm going to be helping you with that. Okay, so we're going to be going through this. I do have a giveaway that will let you, is going to give you a priming prompt, my priming prompt that I use. So you can use that as a base. It's also going to give you some of these steps in order so that you can follow these steps as well. So I'm going to place this at the end if you miss it, but there's a QR code and there's a bit.ly link, Dr. CT, Dr. Connecticut XT. Anyway, so that is how you can get, if you're interested in getting the giveaway, if you want to. Otherwise, take a lot of notes and let's learn a little bit. So Bob already introduced me, but I just want to let you know that I have been in this world since before SEO was even a thing. It wasn't even coined. That language wasn't even coined yet. And while I was building websites for everyone with my agency, my web development agency, it was a lot of fun, and I worked with people just like you. So I understand where you get stuck. I am not like educated in a university and then I've gone to work for a big corporation and I don't understand where you are. I understand where you are because I've talked to probably many of you who are on this call or whatever. I've talked to you. I've talked to clients over the years. I know where you get stuck, and I wanted to help people like you, entrepreneurs who are just starting businesses. So, or had them that you're just starting out, right? So I sold Tech Care, my website development agency, so that I could form Toto Coaching and Toto SEO. And in Toto Coaching, I teach people how to build their own website effectively. And I also have a course on SEO. Some of the things that we're going to be learning here today are in my course. I teach you step by step. And I just finished writing that book, Building DIY Websites for Dummies. So that was a lot of work, but it's available now. And that is a lot of strategy, because the thing about building a website, if you've tried to do it before, it is not about using software, and it is not about taking text and images and placing it on a website, that on a web page. That is mechanically how you build a website. So mechanically, you need to know how to do that, right? But you need to know strategy if you want to get people to convert, if you want to get people to your website. You need to get them there. And then when they are there, you need to get them to a thank you page. So the book and my Toto Coaching full courses, I teach you how to do that. This is something you all want to be learning about if you are in charge of your business. It's not just about building a website. Just if you build it and they'll come, that's not true. Okay, you need to do certain things and have certain information in certain places for search engines and for visitors. So that is my goal through these webinars that I do for SCORE, and through my book and through my courses, is to teach you this. And I just was a keynote speaker at another SCORE event this past week, and we had over 200 people, and it was awesome. And I went over some of the things that I'm going to go over here. Okay, so first of all, in chat, if you can, I just want to know where we are, because this is a more advanced webinar than I've done in the past. So if you've come to my other ones on AI, either through, Fairfield County, SCORE here, whatever, this one's a little more advanced. So I just want to, if you can put in chat just a number, where are you? Okay. So just put in number 1, 2, or 3, 4, just so I can get an idea. All right. So now I'm seeing 3. So like before, when I used to do this, okay, I used to see a lot of 1s and 2s. So now I'm seeing this is great. You guys are all in the right place. Even if you're a 2, you're still in the right place. Oh my gosh, this is so awesome. Okay, more 3s coming in. This is perfect. Perfect, perfect, perfect. Okay, ready? So we're going to get going. Here we go. When you decide to leverage AI, that's in addition to all the other tools that you have out there for SEO. What does it let you do? AI will help you generate highly targeted, persuasive website copy. This is a big thing. If you go to Toto Coaching's website, a pop-up comes up, the homepage, and it says, have you done step one? Have you done step 1 of having an effective website? All right. And it shows you what you need to do. This is the step that people miss out on. I meet with a lot of people after SCORE, consult just to see what they can do and how I can help them and where they're stuck. A lot of times I go to their websites and I have no idea what they do. None, no idea. So you want to think about your website in terms of how the visitor is looking at it. If I didn't know you at all and I came to your website, do I know what you do and where you're located and what might be the benefit that I'm going to get right away? People need to see that. And then throughout your pages, you want to generate that highly targeted, persuasive website copy. You want that throughout your website. We're going to be talking about how to create that. That's one of the things I'm going to be talking about today. So it's not a matter of just, a lot of people when they're building a website, look, it gets slowed down in the content creation process. I've worked, like I told you, over 20 years with clients with my other agency. And now with Toto SEO, because we do SEO services, Toto SEO. With Toto SEO, I'll work with clients. We get to the point where I'm like, we got to get more content on this page, or they're building a new website and they're writing their website content. And it's so thin because it's difficult. It's not your fault. It's hard to write. Some people are writers and they're really great at it. And actually, I've worked with some clients who are great writers and they can't write the website copy for some reason, whatever it is. Okay. This is tough. So if you're in this position, you're not alone. Okay. You're not alone. Everyone, even for me, for me. This is difficult to write about my own stuff, okay? So writing this content is difficult. Now that we have AI, if you are doing the process that I'm going to show you, you're just going to get amazing content to put on your website, but you want it to be highly targeted and persuasive. We want to also optimize it. So you can write a lot of targeted content, and that's a great first step. That's a great first step, but it's even better if you can optimize it using an AI tool, and I'm going to show you one, okay? Because SEO is changing and Google algorithms are changing, and it's changing very fast now, even more fast, because we have, with the advent of SGE, which is the search that you see when you do, like in Google, it comes up and it's starting to show you. I don't know if everyone sees that. I've been on the beta for a while, but it'll come up with a generated answer from AI, right? So now it's pushing the organic results down. All right, so we need to start paying attention to our writing and what we're doing and how the algorithms are changing. So, because it's affecting all of us. You want to analyze competitor websites and identify opportunities for improvement. Okay. I'm not going to go over that too much today because I don't have enough time, but that is another thing you can do with AI. But you want to continuously refine your messages. That's the one thing. Don't just build your website and forget about it. I had so many clients that when I worked at Tech, they come to me, I'd build their website and then they never update it because there was this big job that they got over and then they go to work. Okay, that is fine. But if you want to continue being found in search engines and being ranked in the top, you need to continue to add to your website. If it's a dusty website that's, thrown in the back of a closet, that is not in search engine's best interest to return it. So you want to keep updating it, even if you go in and update your pages, because it updates the date that it's updated, blog posts and things like that. And search engines look at the last updated date. They look at that. They want fresh new content. So if you have old blog posts on your website or old content on your website right now, now's the time to start thinking about going in and refreshing it and adding to it. So don't just view this as a project and forget about it. You want to make this part of your daily life. And if you don't like doing it, that's fine. For a lot of us, it's not fun, right? Hire somebody who's good. Hire somebody that can do it. Maybe they work for you just, 1 day a month, and you hire a consultant. There's plenty of people out there. I have references if you want, but there's plenty of people out there that can do that, just a little bit at a time and keep your website fresh. Okay. SEO starts with your customer. Starts with your customer. You need to think about your customer. You need to think, I want you to, like, if you haven't done this, maybe some of you have done this before, but I want you to step back and think about, what are your customers really looking for when they want to engage with you? Why is the reason that they're engaging with you? What is it? Is it because you're an expert at what you do? Is it because you're the most expensive? Some people like to hire the most expensive. Is it because you're the least expensive? Is it because you have the best reviews? Is it because you're the most accommodating? But also related to your offer. What is it about the other, your competitors, your competition? What is it that they're doing that's not as good as you, that you're better than them? What are those things? Where does your competition fall down? Where does your competition let people down? What is the end goal for the customer? What are they trying to do in their life? Are they trying to save time, money, effort? In what way? Okay, so that's what we want to do. And what we want to do is we want to get this down in writing. When I say in writing, I mean on the computer. Okay, you can write it if you want, but in order to do the steps that I'm going to show you and to leverage AI, we need to get this in writing right now. Someday we'll be able to get it only in audio format, but still, even audio format, if you using AI for the most part, these large language models, what it will do is transcribe your audio into a transcription and use that. Okay, they still use, even there's tools out there where you can put like a video into AI, and like ChatGPT is coming. I don't know if you follow Sam Altman, who is the CEO of OpenAI, but I've been listening to him about ChatGPT 5. And when we're on version 4 right now, okay? When version 5 comes out, he says what we have now is trivial. Okay, so that tells you what's coming is amazing. I know one of the things, what I did here is you're going to be able to upload an entire movie, like an hour-long movie, into the large language model. And you're going to be able to say, so it's going to be able to use vision to understand what is going on and transcription from the audio. And you're going to be able to say, what was written on the piece I think you use this example. What was written on the piece of paper that the old gentleman took out of his pocket during the movie? And it could be some slight scene, and it will be able to find that. That is amazing. So anyways, going back to, you need to get this in writing. So for what we're doing now, okay? So if you're going to be using this now, you need to get it in writing, meaning typed on your computer, okay? And the first thing you want to do the second thing you want to do after you create your buyer persona, okay? So you understand your customer and you've documented their pain points. We're going to go over this in a little bit, okay? You want to create compelling offers. That's what you want to do. When you are writing your, when you're writing your website content, you want to focus on benefits, not only features. You want to also mention features, that's fine, but we want to focus on benefits. What is the transformation that the visitor to your website is going to get? Okay, so we want to focus on that. We want to use these customer pain points, right, to frame our offer. We want to create a sense of urgency, if we can do that, if that's possible, and include a clear call to action. What do you want people to do? Do you want them to fill out a form to reach you? Do you want them to email you? Do you want them to call you? Do you want them to download something? Do you want them to view a video? What is it that you want to do? When you are building your website, the sign of a good web developer is they think of each page and they think of, on this page, if someone came to this page here, what would I want them to do next? And you include those call to actions. You don't just slap content. If you've built your website and you just put and maybe it's really good content, but go back and look at each page. Are you internally linking? Are you linking to other pages on your website? Are you getting the people to do what you want? When they visit this page, should they read a blog post that's related to that? Then include the blog post on the page. On that page that they're on, that service page, do you have a before and after section, or maybe a special projects, or what am I trying to say? Like a white paper of how, like, you did this particular project, one example of it, right? You want to link to it from the page. So you want to think of your call to actions on the page, okay? And we're going to go over developing these detailed buyer personas. So a buyer persona, what that is basically a semi-fictional representation of your customer. Now you can use the word ideal before that, but you don't have to. You should create buyer personas for all different kind of customers. You want to definitely create them for your ideal customers for sure. That means the customer, if you could only have this one customer the rest of your life, who is that? And what are the characteristics of them? You should also do them for the customers you don't like, so you can recognize them right away and understand why you might be attracting them into your sphere of influence. So we don't want those customers if they're not good for us. They're not a good fit because they're wasting our time and money. And we as entrepreneurs don't have time to deal with them, right? So you want to do your buyer personas based off of different types of customers, okay? When you create it's also called an avatar. When you create these buyer personas, right? You put down information like their demographics, their age, their gender, location, where they live, maybe things about their graduation level, just some demographics information, different information. They married, not kids. A little bit about their values. I love how they spend their day. I want to know how they spend their day all day. That tells me a lot about a customer. It tells me a lot about how much time they have to spend. It tells me a lot about where they place their values. All right? What they value is how they spend their time. We want to talk about their goals, their challenges, their roles, their fears, their adjectives. Okay? In the giveaway that I have for you, I give you my buyer persona template that I use with my clients. It's the same one. So I give that to you. Okay? We want to leverage AI to create website copy from our buyer personas that is a compelling offer. How are we going to do this? All right. There are two tools that I love, both of these tools. I use them interchangeably, different, you get different results. Most people have heard of ChatGPT. I'm going to start with Claude. If you have not heard of Claude, you can look up Claude online, or you can go to claude.ai. It is from a company called Anthropic. The CEO of Anthropic worked for many years at OpenAI, and he spun off and started Anthropic. And their large language model is called, or their LLM. So this is new language that y'all got to get used to. Like I had to get used to it too. LLM stands for large language model. Claude and ChatGPT are LLMs. Okay. Claude can take more data input. A lot of times I like using Claude because I can put more data into it. That means I can take a longer document. So if I say I did my buyer persona and I wrote a lot, typed a lot, ChatGPT might not be able to read it because it might be too long. Whereas Claude most likely be able to read it because it takes more tokens. Okay. And ChatGPT is out there too, as well. Many of you have probably used that one because that's the one that's in the news, and that was the first to market. All right. They were prior to Claude. Claude came, I think, in March. And ChatGPT was the previous November. They both have free versions and they both have paid versions. The Claude just came out. They're going to have it for teams. So if you're on a team of people, you might want to look into that. But anyways, Claude Professional is $20 and so is ChatGPT. What's the difference? A difference is you can prompt it more often. You don't get busy signals. You also with ChatGPT, they did have plugins that you only had on the Pro. Now they're moving to GPT, so you have more features. If you don't need them, don't start with, you can just start with the free version. Oh, also, I think ChatGPT version 4 is only available for the paid version. It used to be that way. I'm not quite sure today what it is, but in any case, start with the free version. If you're only using it here and there, if you're not going to use it, if you start using a lot, upgrade to the paid. Okay. So I like using both tools. Okay. When we use these tools, here are some things that you want to do. Okay. Number one, this is the most important. You want to provide clear, specific prompts. Okay. And while you're doing this to create this website copy, you want to let them know your target audience, buyer personas. Okay. You want to let them know maybe your tone of voice and maybe some key points that you want to bring up. Okay. So being very clear with your initial prompts that go into the large language model, you will have a better result. If you just do a one-liner prompt, you're probably not going to get the best result. So just no matter what you're doing with these large language models, okay? For example, if I want to write a blog post, okay, and I want to use one of these LLMs to get me started, all right? You don't want to just use only an LLM to write the blog post without inputting in anything else or without editing afterwards, because it's a regurgitation of content that's out on the internet and you need to make your content unique to you. You got to make it unique. But say you're going to use it in the beginning. You might start off by saying, I'm going to, I would like you to write me this blog post. The first thing I would like you to do though, is write me an outline, right? You would put some more words in there, but I'm shortening it. So you would, to tell you the process. So you would say, can you give me an outline? And then you might ask it to write you the introduction. And then you might ask it to write you whatever Roman numeral 2 was. And then you might ask it to write Roman numeral 3. And then you might read through Roman numeral 3 and say, oh, you know what? They missed a bunch of points, or I usually do X, Y, Z, and I need it to include some other stuff. So you might go back and say, actually, can you rewrite that? So if you do it like in little pieces, okay, and you're very specific, you're going to get a better result. Like I said, we want to use your customer pain points and your buyer personas. So what you're going to do is you're going to dump in, first of all, your buyer persona. So what you're going to do is you're going to type up your buyer persona, right? You're going to use, there's templates online. You can use my template or you can find a template. There's plenty of resources for creating a buyer persona. All right. You're going to create your buyer persona. You're going to get it all down in writing. Okay. You're going to type it all up and everything. You are going to go into one of the large language models And you're going to say, here is my buyer persona. I'm giving you this. This is the person that typically buys from me. Okay. And you can just ask it to understand that it read that. Then if you have written down pain points that your customers have, like I just talked about, like how you are better than your other customers, and you've done it. I do this with my students in my course, and I do it all my courses almost. And I do this with my Toto SEO clients. It's an amazing exercise. I create a spreadsheet. I have different columns. One is for a pain point that people have. The next one is for the pain point in detail, like some more context around it, why it's a pain point. Why is it a pain point? Like if you're a landscaper, brown lawns, that's a pain point, right? Why is a brown lawn a problem? Maybe, you want it to be beautiful. You want your house to look nice. Maybe you walk on it and you don't want to hurt your feet. What is the problem with it? Like that would be the pain point in detail, right? Then we have a column. And what are the features? What are the benefits that you offer? If you work with our landscaping company, you know what the benefit is? You're going to have a green lawn. And then what is that more in detail? Okay, it's going to be green. It's going to be soft to walk on. It's going to be beautiful to look at, right? It's going to mow easily. Those are the benefits, right? More in detail. And what are the features? The features are, for a landscaper, we are going to come and we are going to cut your lawn on a regular basis so it looks great. We are going to reseed it when it needs to be reseeded. We are going to water it. We're going to blow it. Like those are the features, right, of our offer. So I work with my clients. We make this big spreadsheet. So if you have that big spreadsheet, right, you get that all down in writing, You give that to the large language model as well. You say, here are all the pain points and benefits of our offer, pain points of our customers, benefits of our offer, and features of our offer. And you will ask the LLM just to read that. Just read it. So now they've read your buyer persona, right? Or they've read your buyer persona notes and they've read your pain points, right? So you've got it there. Now you're in that chat window, right? And it understands. It has all this data, background data for it, right? Now you want to start prompting it to create your copy. Okay. So you can ask for a buyer persona back. That's what I teach in my course, teach you how to make the buyer persona, but you don't necessarily have to have it spit out this beautiful document, right, of a buyer persona. You can just start going right to the website copy if you want. So another thing you would need to prime it in this case is you need to prime it with, what do you offer? So if you have a services page, you can copy and paste that text into it. If you have a brochure about what you offer, you can copy and paste. If you don't have that written down, or you should have separate services pages for each service you offer on your website. And if you don't, you need to break them up into separate services if you want to be found online more easily. So copy all that content from your website or from a brochure or emails you sent to people or whatever. Get information about your offer and load that also into the large language model. Okay, so now the large language model has your buyer persona. It has your pain points, benefits, and features, and it has your offer. Has a lot of information, right? So at that point, you ask it to start generating copy. Can you write me? And you can do, tons and tons and tons of different types of prompts, but, can you generate me some copy? What would be some targeted website messaging for visitors who are visiting my website, who are in the awareness stage of the buyer's journey? They're just finding out about you. What about the consideration stage of the buyer's journey? Be creative in your prompts. I give you some, I don't have time to go over all of them, but be creative in your prompts. Ask it for, give me some language and you can start off with too. You can say, I would like you to rewrite the service page for lawns. I'll use this as the same example for our green lawns page, right? Now that you've given them all that information, you can load in what you have now and you can say, can you rewrite this so that it addresses my ideal client that I gave to you, and it touches upon every one of the pain points that apply to this service. Okay, make sure you include the features of our offer, from the information I've given you, the benefits of the offer, talk to the heart of the customer, frame this in a positive light. Oh my gosh, it went right on my head. Frame this in a positive, offer transformation. Show how we will transform their lives. Okay. So you want to take all this information, put it in, then you ask it to start writing your website copy. If you haven't done this yet, it's amazing. Try it. Then you want to review it. Okay. You need to review it because we know LLMs, they can hallucinate. All right. If you've put too much into the chat window, it might start to degrade, especially with ChatGPT. I would also, by the way, try the same exact prompts with ChatGPT and Claude. That's a great experiment. Do the same thing on both and see what you get back. You might be amazed at the difference. All right. The tone of voice that it's used, the language that it used. I would strip out anything that says dive in or craft. Those are two words that I find that ChatGPT loves using, and it's like, okay, I don't know, I'm over the word craft, and dive in. So like those scream AI, and it's okay if you have AI generated content on your website, by the way. It's okay. You just want to make it yours. It needs to be yours. Okay. So, here's some more tips. Okay. So if you're like, okay, I want to rewrite my whole website. I've got my whole website to rewrite, or you're just starting. And you know, when you're just starting, if you have a sitemap, you've got a lot of pages you have to write content for, and it's like overwhelming, right? That's daunting. Like, I don't even know where to start. Start with the easiest ones. Okay. Maybe a product description. Okay. Maybe a blog post, whatever is easy for you. Maybe the about page. Start with the easiest one for you. Okay. Get a feel for what you can get out of the LLM. Okay. Then move on to your more important content. Okay. Move on to your homepage, or maybe bigger, more substantial pages. Maybe you have a service that's really important that you offer. Do that one after you've got a couple of these under your belt. Remember, use this as a starting point. You want to make sure that you have also your voice in this, and that it has everything that's complete. And if you are, there's, service pages are, and website pages are different than blog posts. Those are articles. If you are creating a blog post or an article, you want to include something about your experience. You need to show your EEAT, your experience, your expertise, your authoritativeness, and your trustworthiness. Okay, you can look that up. I do other webinars where I talk about that. Your EEAT, experience, expertise, trustworthiness, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. You need to show that. How you show that is by either adding your credentials on the bottom of every blog post or on your about page, adding your links to your LinkedIn, showing you're a real person, adding in links to articles that maybe you've written, posted on the internet, adding into your website, maybe like where you have press. If it's a blog post that you're writing about, add in your own experiences. I'm telling you to do this in this blog post. If you don't do it, this is what might happen. This is what happened to one of my customers. This is what happened to one of my customers when they did do this. Okay. Quotes, your quotes, customer quotes, make it yours. Don't just copy that content. A lot of people did that when ChatGPT came out. They built hundreds and thousands of pages, blog posts, right? Very easily and quick. And they did see a bump for a little while in traffic, but a big update just came out in March. So if you've done that and you dropped in the SERP, the search engine's results page, when someone does a search, when it comes back, and you were used to be 1, 2, or 3, or even in the top 10, and now you're down low, you might have gotten hit with this update in March. Because search engines, if we think about them, they're in business, and they're in business to return good websites, right? They're not in business to return crappy websites. Otherwise, no one would use them. If they return just boring information, that's the same information from everyone else. Why would they do that? Searchers can get that information other places. They want to return helpful content. There's the HCU that's out, the helpful content update. So you want your information to be helpful. And how you make it helpful is by, if you just focus on showing your EEAT, your experience, your expertise, your authoritativeness, and your trustworthiness, that will come through. So you're going to take the article that is given back to you, and you're going to go and you're going to pepper it in with examples if it didn't do that already, quotes if it didn't do that already, etc. Make it yours, okay? So you want to combine it, okay? Combine it. Okay. So now, oh, a word isn't on there. Outright your competition. Sorry, I add that to it. So now we have our content we got back, right? So we did all this work. We created our buyer personas. We created our pain points, benefits, and features document. We got all of our offer information, loaded it into the LLM. We got back some website content. That's great. You can put that on your website. That's good. That's a great starting point. Or I'm going to take it a step further. You want to optimize it. So there's a couple steps to doing this. All right. I'm going to just show you a couple of them. There can be even more. Okay. That's what we're going to talk about now. First thing you want to do is identify target keywords. Okay. You want to find high value keywords that are relevant for your target audience. Now, if you have, I talk about this in my other webinars, if you have a website that is new or is not really good, maybe you have all your services on one page. Maybe you don't have a lot of content on the website because you want it to look beautiful, so you didn't put a lot on there. You know what? Speaking of that, if you've done that, because like a lot of people are like that, like we want it just to put it, and no one's going to read it anyway. Okay, well, search engines don't understand your offer. If you don't have, they don't know you, and they didn't come over your house or your business and talk to you and understand what your offer is. Okay. So they're trying to get it from your website. If your website does not clearly state what your offer is, how do you think search engines are going to figure that out? They're not. So you want to have content that supports your offer so that search engines understand it. Okay. So say you have not done that on your website and has a low domain authority. Your domain authority, you can look that up. I teach that in my course, or you can go look that up. Look up what's my domain authority. Moz has a tool. Ahrefs has a tool. SEMrush has a tool. They all have tools. There's tons of tools out there. They all use a different ranking system. You might be 24 on one and 18 on another. Okay. And also you might bounce around. You might go up and down. So and also is niche specific, and don't expect to be in the 90s because that is reserved for like news organizations and stuff like that. So you won't be in the 90s. So it's okay. If you're like in the 30s, like that, you're doing pretty good. Okay. So don't get upset about that, but you need to see how you are related to your competition. Okay. So say you have a low domain authority. That means your website is not looked upon as very authoritative. Might not get returned for highly competitive keywords. So if you do a little bit of keyword research, you can use Google AdWord Planner. That's a free tool. Or you can pay there's tons of free tools that you can use, and there's a lot of paid tools. Most of them are paid, right? Like I use SEMrush, SEMrush. That's what I use with my clients. And I'll go in there and do keyword research. So in there, when I do the keyword research, I find out a couple pieces of information. One is I find out the search volume. How many people are searching for this every month? You know, is it 10,000 or is it 0? If no one's searching for that search term, that might be jargon that I use as a business owner, but my audience isn't using it. Or maybe I have a product that no one knows about that there's a solution for yet, so they're not going to be searching for it, but they're going to be searching for something else. So my keywords might not be relevant yet. Okay. So you need to understand how many people are using those words. Then you want to look at the competition level. Going back to domain authority, if you have a site that is not viewed as really amazing site, it's going to be difficult for you to compete if the competition level for your keywords is very competitive. If it's very competitive and there's a ton of websites that have been around for a long time that have thousands of websites, articles on their pages, URLs on their website, and maybe they have a ton of links back from other authoritatives, Forbes or news organizations, whatever, back to their website, and they've been doing all these things right, and you're trying to rank for that keyword, but they're already ranking for it. Why do you think search engines are going to return your website? It's going to be difficult. So you might have to go for different words that are lower ranking, that have a lower competitive level. Okay, so you go for those, you can go, and then you get people in the door. They come to your website, you start ranking for those lower competition words, okay? And then you got to get them to stay on your website. Search engines will note that. They'll be like, oh, when we put this website up in position 1, 2, or 3, people actually click on it. Oh, and then when they go to the website, they stay. It must be a good website. Let's see what else they can rank for. Okay, you kind of move up like a boat. So you need to find out that competition level, okay? And then you want to think about the user intent. What is the user? Are they just trying to get information, or are they trying to, sometimes you're just trying, I'm not interested in buying something. Most of the time when we do searches online, we are not interested in buying something, right? We're trying to get information. We're trying to answer a question. We're out with our friends or with our spouse, and we're like, oh, what is that thing called again? And we look it up, right? So it doesn't mean that I'm going to go buy that. I just want to know what it's called. My intent in that case is informational. If I'm going to purchase something, my intent would be commercial, transactional. So the intent, you want to think about the intent. You can go for the informational keywords. That's fine. Bring them in, provide them with information so that hopefully they're like, oh, let me find out more. Oh, and if you provided those links, like I told you, the clear call to action when we talked about this a few minutes ago. Oh, let me read more about this. Oh, I didn't know there was a product for this. Oh, let me go and look at the product, and maybe you buy it, or maybe you have a service. Oh, let me fill out a form to see if they can come over and mow my lawn. All right. So you have to have that clear. When that happens, because you're bringing them in on these low competitive words, you will move up in search. But you need to think about that user intent. All right. Obviously, if you're trying to do business, you want to go for ones that have more commercial or transactional intent, right? Okay. So now we have our keywords. So you want to put your keywords on the page. All right. So you put them on the keywords on the page. But it's not about just keywords anymore. Keywords are important. Keywords were more important like years ago. Okay. There's a thing called keyword stuffing. I talk about it. It's black hat. That means it's not legit. White hat is okay. You're playing by the rules. Black hat is cheating. Black hat methods include keyword stuffing. Keyword stuffing means you put the words all over your website, right? You put them all over. Okay, first of all, it's not fun to read a website like that, and users will get annoyed. And secondly, that's not how it works anymore. How it works now is with semantic SEO. Now that we have AI, search engines read all the content and they can derive meaning from the content of your website because they've been trained on all these other documents on the internet that have similar meaning to what you're trying to say. So I watched recently a really good webinar. I think it was from the tool that I'm going to show you next, from Neuron Writer. And I think he did that. And he said, if you look up books about love, you will see the ones that get returned on top don't have love in the title. They're like The Notebook and things like that. Talk about being alone, because now search engines can understand the meaning and they understand context. So putting keywords on your pages is not enough anymore. It's important. You need to do that. Okay. They've evolved. Now you need to think about topicality. You need to write in terms of the topic. People don't like to hear this because they just want to write their content and be done with it. You have to write complete content. You have to write on the topic. This means there's a ton of other words that support the content that you're trying to use. Okay. This is the tool that I use. Okay. I have a discount I can give you. If you get the giveaway, I have a discount for you. I wrote to them and I told them I want a discount. It's my affiliate link, but it's a discount for you. I use Neuron Writer. This is an amazing tool. Okay. What happens is you put in your target keyword that you want to go for. It will find the top 30 other websites that are ranking for that same keyword. Everyone gets a content score. Get a number, like in gymnastics. Give you a content score, right? Neuron Writer will show you how to optimize it. Oh, where's my image? Oh, it's on here. Here's what happens. This is an article that I optimized for a skincare clinic, Acta Beauty, ACTA Beauty. Okay, they create skincare products for women like bakuchiol serum and stuff that are natural and organic. She creates all of them. She's a chemist and she creates all of them by hand. And then she has a store in upstate New York. So anyways, I optimized one of her pages for bakuchiol serum. If you come here, the top ranking page for the words, whatever I was going for here on this, I don't remember exactly, was 71. We got our content score of 79. Okay. And how this happens is one of the things it does is, for example, they give you all these supporting keywords that support the content. So if you see these is an example of this article, I just took this screenshot. So if you see the ones that are green, those are the ones we used. Okay. The ones that are not used, I did not use glowy skin. I did not use clean skin. I did not use, but look at the words that search engines are looking for semantic SEO. Okay. They're looking for like words like fine lines and wrinkles. They're looking for the word skin looking. They're looking for increased skin, okay? Active ingredients, natural ingredients, mature skin, okay? Sometimes there's other words that I'm not even, hydrate, wrinkle, signs of aging, nourish, lines and hyaluronic acid, okay, radiance. So you have all these other words that semantically help search engines understand your topic. These are the words that other ranking pages are using. This is a guide. And then what you can do is put them into your content, and you can also it helps you write your title and your meta descriptions. Your title and your meta descriptions is what appears here in the search, right? This looks like a search engine's results page, right? The SERP. When you write your title and meta descriptions, they have to be a certain width. You don't want them longer than that, because then you get dots that don't show you the whole thing. Okay. So you want it to fit. So it shows you the whole thing, right? This is not a matter of the number of characters you have in your title and meta description. It's a matter of how fat the letters are. So if you use a lot of I's, you can have more words in there. If you use a lot of O's and C's, you're going to have fatter letters. Okay. So it needs to be this. Neuron Writer helps you do it. It also has these really cool tools that you can click this little guy, and it will write the content using AI for you, give you AI suggestions. It also does that in the content. You can help it write your content. Okay. So this is an excellent tool that I love. Okay. I went over a lot in this webinar, and I saw a bunch of questions going in, but I just want to go over some just key takeaways for you to remember. Okay. If this was a lot for you. Okay. Use tools. Okay. They can help you generate the target, engaging copy that you want. Okay. Give it clear prompts. Okay. Give it your audience information, your buyer personas, give it any brand guidelines you have, give it all that information, feed that all in. Get the content back, review it, edit it, make sure it's yours. Okay. After you do that, put it into get some keywords, right? Optimize your website, put it into an AI tool like Neuron Writer, and optimize it. Okay. Optimize it, and then you're ready to post it on your website. Okay. All right. That was a lot.
Okay. Thanks, Jennifer. We will now have time for as many questions as we can fit in here in the next 10 or 12 minutes. So if you have a question, please use the Q&A feature, and we'll take as many as we can up until the top of the hour. And I'll go back to the beginning. Early on, Jennifer, you were talking about people that could update your website, and there's a question here from Jarena. What is the person called who updates SEO content? Are they an SEO strategist? I think you were referring to the updating, keep your website updating when it was fresh, is when this question came in. So.
Yeah, like if they want to go out and try to find someone, like who should they be looking for?
Yeah.
It could be a strategist. The strategists are like, it depends on how big of a company it is. If it's an SEO agency that has you might have one that's a strategist that says, okay, here's going to be our content calendar, and this is what we're going to do. And maybe someone else does the actual, writing of the article and the optimizing of it. So it could be a strategist that, it could just be an SEO. It could be a lot of content writers, are writing for SEO now. So a lot of copywriters are doing this as well. They're writing for SEO. So I don't know if there's an actual like one term. You could start with strategist, SEO, writer, SEO content writer, content copywriter.
I think that'll be helpful for what she's looking for. This question from Judy came in before you started talking about Claude and ChatGPT. And Judy's saying, I'm using Perplexity AI, and what's your assessment of the various AI platforms? Maybe you could just, if you have any experience with Perplexity, could comment on that.
Yeah, just a little bit. I have a little bit in there, there's tons of different tools, and then there's even paid tools like Jasper you can use. And I've talked about one called Word Hero in some of my other webinars. For me, everyone's experience can be different. And sometimes I find that I'm having great results with ChatGPT and other times not. I tend to use Claude more. I like the way that I feel like it's a softer tone of voice for me, just me personally. But then again, so I use this other tool as well. It's called Team GPT, Team-GPT. And I didn't show it here because it's kind of like, but it's awesome. And it allows you, if you're using the same prompts over and over again, you can save your prompts in it and you can share them with other people. And you can also organize your prompts into folders so you can save them, which is really great if you work with different clients or if you have different topics that you want to organize. And it also allows you to create your own prompts where it prompts you for variables when you run it. So you can run it and then it'll prompt you for the variable, like the client's name. That only runs off of ChatGPT. And I love Team GPT. Love it, love it, love it. I'm not a big fan of all the content that comes back from ChatGPT. So I just say, try different ones. I use them. I bounce around all over the place. It depends. And sometimes I do them, like I said, I'll do it in both the same exact prompts and see what I get back. And usually kind of similar, but sometimes I'll feel that one represents my voice and my brand better.
Okay, I think that's very helpful. Just a quick one. When you're talking about Claude, can you just repeat the website info for Claude? Heidi was wanting to know that. Is it?
Oh yeah, it's CLAUDE.ai. So it's
Perfect.
Claude.ai. It's from Anthropic, Anthropic. You can look that up too.
All right. Our next question is from actually, Maria's got a couple questions here. Can you simply send AI to your website URL and ask them to suggest where you can improve?
Well, a lot of the large language models will not natively go out and read your website. So, that requires different tools and such like that. So you can't you can't do that right now with chat. You can't just go in a Claude and do that.
And in a related question, would updating, you talked about updating your website regularly, would updating your website once a year be sufficient, is her follow-on question.
I mean, like, that's sufficient for what? Like, for what? If look. How important is your business? And how important is your online traffic? That is your answer. So if you need to, in my keynote speech that I just did last week for that score in Space Coast, I talked about how I did a competition, okay? And I lost my first competition, but right then I had to go and compete with the next person. There was 3 of us, right? So I had to compete for second place and I won second place. But the first one, I did not win second place because I didn't play to the level of my competitor. My competitor was playing at a different level. When she went out there, she was like ready to like kill me. And I was like ready to like fight, but I wasn't ready to kill somebody. Well, I'm actually my second one, I came back, I'm like, okay, I'm ready to kill somebody. So the thing is like how that relates to this is like, you have to play if you want to just do it once a year, but your competition is all doing it at once a week or daily or whatever, then I don't know, what does that feel like to you? So like, like there's no, that's sufficient. You need to look at what you want. What are your goals? And maybe you don't care about your website anymore for whatever reason. So then whatever, then never update it. But if you really care about it and you want it to rise in search or you're in search at the top and you want to stay there, It's like anything. We all work on our diet. We work on sleeping. We take care of ourselves. We have maintenance in our home. We have maintenance in our lives, right? We wash our clothing. Like this is the same type of thing.
Great. I think the message there, it depends on the website and the business and what you're trying to get out of it, right?
Yeah, your goals.
Okay, here's one from Craig. How likely is it that the Google algorithm will penalize you for AI generated content that is too similar to content on other sites, and how best to guard against that?
Well, like I said, you want to add in your experience, your details, your outcome, user reviews, your quotes, add in all that content. You need to do that. That's a really important thing. You don't want generic content out there. You don't want to, and also too, you want to ask if you're hiring an SEO agency, it's fine if they use the AI because everyone's using it now. Okay. So don't think that it's whatever, but are they just going to go off and go, give you an article and throw it on your website? They need to have your details in there, so that you need to add in more of your details. How will you get penalized? I mean, it's considered, well, it wouldn't be duplicate content because there's no plagiarism in general for the most part with these LLMs, but it won't be helpful content. You want it to be helpful content. That is the whole thing. Keep it an idea, helpful content, and the topic, complete content.
Okay, our next one is from Anthony. What are your thoughts on using AI generated speakers / voices versus organic recordings?
When people use like those tools where you can feed in a script and you have an AI person just saying it, like
Yeah,
what's it called, that one? That one
I don't know, but it's eventually I call it AI generated voice versus a real one or an organic recording.
I mean, that I think that we're evolving right now as a society and we're moving forward with AI. So right now, for most of us, there's plenty of people that are very nervous about AI, right? They're nervous. So if you think of your audience, right? If you created an AI generated talking head on your website to an explainer video or whatever and put it up there. I forgot the name of that website that does it, begins with an S. And is your audience going to resonate with that? Remember what we started at the beginning, right? It begins with your customer. Will your customer resonate with that? Will they feel connected to that? Can they see? That's why on commercials, look at the commercials we have on TV right now. They all have all races and all, right? And it wasn't that way all the time, right? But now it's noticeably that way because they want people to be able to relate, see themselves in the ad, right? See themselves wearing those clothes or doing that thing. So is your audience going to relate to that? That's what I would, and if you have a very highly technical audience, they might not care. I think right now we're at a very beginning stages of this, and I don't know. I don't have advice for you on that. You can try it, but my question is, how is your audience going to feel watching that?
Got time for one more here from Nathaniel. Integrating Neuron Writer with ChatGPT. Do you know how to link easily the API? If you could just briefly talk about that, if you've had some experience.
Yes, you can put in your own, okay, Neuron Writer gives you credits to use for AI, but then I think that's what they're talking about. So just so people understand, some of these tools, okay, like Neuron Writer and stuff, when you click that little, remember I showed you that little AI writer, bing, and it will automatically write some stuff for you. That's going out and using a large language model to write the content. Large language models are very expensive to run. They take a lot of resources, okay? So to compute what you want it to compute when you click that little magic wand, it takes resources. You don't get that for free. You have to pay for that. Okay. So in Neuron Writer, they give you so many credits. If you use all the credits and you go above that, you need to have your own account hooked. You either buy more credits or you have your own account hooked up with it. Okay. I have my account hooked up. I don't think you have to hook it up. Maybe you have to hook it up. I did it so long ago. So you might have to hook it up no matter what, but you might not have to hook it up. I don't remember. I did that a long time ago. But that's why you in your open, everyone has a key in open AI, but you have to be on a paid program because they need to be able to charge your credit card if you use a lot of credits. Okay. I don't really use a lot of, I use a little bit, but you might use it somewhere else. That's how this is working now. All these systems, right? If you're going to have additional systems, there's going to be more. All of us are going to get more of them. We're going to have more options for software. We might have to hook up our open AI key to these pieces of software because it's very expensive to do that writing automatically. So it will use your account and then it needs to be paid and charged. And you need to charge it that. I don't know if I was clear explaining that.
All right. It's good background. Unfortunately, we are out of time, and that's all the questions we can have time for today. Just as a reminder to everyone, the webinar has been recorded and the materials will be available in the next day or so on our website under on-demand webinars. Our next live webinar is Wednesday, May 22nd at noon, and the topic is preparing your website for takeoff with Jorge Pezo Candelario presenting. And again, more specifics on our website. If you'd like to take advantage of the free individual counseling, you can use the link that I showed earlier on the screen, or you can just go to our website and click on Request a Mentor. And also, Jennifer and I'd really appreciate it if you could fill out your evaluations. That'll be sent at the end of the webinar. They're very helpful to us. And on behalf of SCORE, I'd like to thank you all for attending today's live webinar. And in closing, a big thank you to Jennifer for presenting today. So enjoy the rest of your day, everyone. Thanks very much. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you, everyone. Have a great day.
Take care. Bye-bye.